Hi, it's the Rawsome Vegan Gal here, and I'm going to be talking to you about a company called Ancient Cookware. And I want to thank Oscar, the owner of the company, because he sent me this lovely black clay pot. It's actually a casserole. It is 2.25 quarts, and we're going to talk about this as compared to my stainless steel pot. Doesn't look so glamorous as this one does. I think this one looks much more attractive, don't you? So, Ancient Cookware is a company that sells different cookware, unique kitchen tools from around the world, from places like Colombia, where the black clay cookware comes from, Mexico, Spain, China, Argentina, India, and Thailand. And I will have a link to their website below this video so you can check out all the different types of products that they sell and from the various companies and what they're all about. So I was showing you before my old little, what kind is this, Revereware. It's made actually in Indonesia. It's about 1.5 quarts. It doesn't hold a candle, I think, to the black clay casserole oval casserole that I showed you. So we're going to talk to you a little bit more about this, and then I'm going to show you the pot a little more. So this is called black clay Chamba cookware, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not quite sure. And this is used in Colombia in restaurants and for home cooking. And it's traced back, it says, at least 700 years to vases and pitchers found in the pre-Columbian archaeological sites. And it's still made in the traditional manner by families in a small village in central Colombia. Each piece is handmade using local area clays, then hand burnished with a semi-precious stone. So when you see, I'll pick up the cover, it's easy to show you that. I don't know if you could see that, but it's kind of shiny glaze, the black. They use a stone to actually get it to be that way, which is amazing, all by hand. And I'll actually send you a link to the video of how the pots are actually made, the cookware. And then they're fired, the pieces are fired and smoked to give them the black color and elegant look. So the clay doesn't look that color. The clay is like a burnt orange type color, and then it gets that way from the smoking it. The pieces, they say, heat very evenly and retain heat for a long period of time, and that is true. So you want to be really careful when you're handling the pot when it's hot. Make sure you have oven mitts or, something that you won't burn your hands, because it does get very hot. And so these this particular cookware is completely natural and safe. It's not glazed. It does not have any lead, no toxins, and therefore the food that's produced is tastier, healthier, and really delicious. So how do you take care of this? But first of all, there's the idea about curing it. Now, it was recommended that I use a ripe plantain to cure it before I use it. But the problem with plantain is it does take many weeks to be truly ripe to use it, and I don't have many weeks to do it. So it doesn't have to be done that way. So what I did, actually, that you want to seal the pores of the actual pot so that it doesn't leak or anything. What I did was I just brought some water to a boil very slowly. Very slowly. I started on the lowest possible temperature. I have a gas stove. And then I waited a few minutes, and then I actually felt the pot as it was getting warmer. So you never bring it anywhere too fast in the heat. And the same thing is, you always let it cool down before you wash it, so you don't want to have any problem like that. So, so that's the way I did it. I just took some bit of water, maybe a couple inches of water, and let it slowly come to a boil. Like I said, very, very gently, gradually. Maybe I took like an hour. I really took my time because I didn't want to cause any friction in the pot. The pot can't handle dramatic changes in temperature. So you have to be really even and smooth, and you have to do it really slowly. So that's how I did it. So that's the curing, and then how to take care of it. How you use it, like I said, it's actually can be used, so in the oven. on the stove, both gas and electric, and microwave, which I don't recommend, so we'll just not talk about that. So oven or stove, it could be both gas or electric. With electric, it's actually recommended that you use a heat diffuser underneath, so you so that the heat is distributed more evenly and the food won't burn. And actually, what's really nice too is since it's such a beautiful pot, you can actually put it on your table when you serve it. And of course, you put some kind of something underneath when you put it on your table because it's very hot. A board or something underneath. So, like I said, it should not be submitted to any drastic changes. So allow it to come up warm slowly. So as you're cooking something, go very slowly to start, and then bring it up. The same thing with when you're going to wash it and store it. You want to let the temperature come down from the heat of the pot that it generates, and then wait, and then you could wash it. And then how you wash it is by hand only, using warm soapy water. If it has a lot of soil on it, I don't know how it gets heavily soiled. I guess if you put oil in it or stuff, I don't use any oil in it. But always use a very soft sponge. Never use any abrasive cleaners on it. And use mild soap, something natural, like I use Dr. Bronner's, something that isn't heavily scented, that'll flavor the change its clay. And another important thing is never use metal utensils. I actually only use wooden, so for me it's not an issue. I don't even think I own any metal utensils, because you don't want to damage or scratch the clay, because that's what will happen. So what else can I tell you about these pieces? Sometimes they have slight imperfections, and what's funny is it says in here too that sometimes the cover, the lids to the pots won't actually match the pot itself, because when they fire it, sometimes it shrinks it. So actually my cover, as I was putting it on, actually if I turn it a little bit, it actually stays better in place. There's no like space in between. And also the other thing is at the bottom, because it contacts the heat, may change the color a little, but that doesn't affect the piece in any way. There's no problem with it. So that's kind of the history, the use, the care of the pot. Now I'm gonna show you the pot and tell you about my use. So this is the beautiful pot we have. Like I showed you, it's the oven casserole, which is really nice. It's quite large, and I'm only one person. And here is the beautiful cover like I showed you. And then here's the pot, how it looks on the inside. You can see that. And the bottom, like it has already some markings, as you can see. Can you see the markings on the bottom? That's from my gas stove. So it actually has its own artwork. So that's the beautiful pot. And when I cooked in it, I'm a vegan, as you know, if you've watched my channel for a while. So I only use vegetables in here, or beans or grains. So I like to make like nice stews. Like the last thing I made that I used that for the first time was some squash and some carrots, and put some water in. And again, I let it come to a boil very, very slowly, gradually. And then as it came up to a boil and it was cooking enough, I just put it on a low flame and let it kind of simmer in. And it was delicious. The food came out wonderful. The other part I like about that, as opposed to using what we call our stainless steel cookware, is that there's no metallic taste to the food. The same thing applies to when you use a knife. Like the knives I use are ceramic as well. So you're not getting any metal taste in the food. I don't use metal utensils. I don't use metal pot. So I still have this pot to use for smaller things, because the casserole, the clay cookware, it's quite large for me to make like a small amount in. So it's just if I make larger quantities of food, like a stew, it's good for a casserole. If you're going to bake something in the oven, like you bake some squash, or, you make some kind of like a quiche or something where you want to, a stew, a roast, you roast vegetables, anything that you would do in the oven, you could do in there, which is really nice. And they come in different sizes. On this little picture, I don't know if you could see that there's different size pots. I don't know if I'm getting it in the right lighting. You can see there's many different sizes. There's smaller ones, there's even pans, there's really large ones as well. And I think they even might have a bowl. I'm not quite sure, I don't remember that. But, it's really nice, beautiful looking. Like I said, it's very elegant looking cookware that you'd even just put on your table and serve it. And, you know, like I said, I love the fact that there's no metallic taste. I don't know what, you know, I don't know that I necessarily tasted a difference in that aspect, but for me, I'm glad for the fact that I have a pot that is made of a natural substance, and there's nothing in it that is toxic at all. So that's really good, and it's done by, you know, traditionally in Colombia, the way they traditionally made it. So that's really neat. You know, that's why it's the company. It's a great name, Ancient Cookware, because it's cookware from ancient times when they used to make things naturally, not like this where it's, you know, made in probably a factory somewhere, as opposed to that's, you know, all made by hand, which is pretty amazing. It's like all the love that goes into it. You could really tell, and it's beautiful. So that is the story about our ancient cookware, our black clay cookware. And I thank you for watching. It's the Rawsome Vegan Gal.